Serving is a must. He's the Alpha, the boss. This is DJ Nicholas on the show. When you hear the trumpet or the flute, know it's a battle. Kindly put your vehicle in a drive, ready to travel. Like Mary, you are going to use your foot, kick off shackle. When the war so easy on me body, and when it cut man them there, the man look and it on them there.
Welcome. This is the Mailbox, here every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Imagine it's the 24th of September, 2025. Kevin Bailey, Roland, Gail in the place, and all the man them from Moran Point in the Grill. Great to be with you. Thank you for showing up because we know you have other choices. So this evening we'll be looking at managing sickle cell. Not so often we do look at an important topic like this and how it affects men. So here we are. September is Sickle Cell Awareness Month, a time to raise awareness about sickle cell disease and sickle cell trait. Sickle cell disease is a group of inherited red blood cell disorders that affect hemoglobin, causing red blood cells to become stiff and crescent-shaped, blocking blood flow and leading to recurring episodes of pain. Symptoms may include episodes of severe pain, anemia, fever, acute chest syndrome, stroke, and organ damage. There are several ways to get involved in helping persons living with sickle cell. Host a social media share out, share bite-sized facts or stories about sickle cell disease using trusted sources and tag blood donation pledge. Encourage people to donate blood, especially those from diverse backgrounds. Host quick quiz rounds online or in groups to educate people about sickle cell disease. Start a neighborhood info table. Set up a friendly kiosk in a public spot to share information about sickle cell disease. This is a program designed for men with guests who are men, hosted by men, and it's here every Wednesday, unless it's a holiday at 5:30 p.m. right here on your favorite station, Love 101. It's the Mailbox. And as I said, I'm Kevin Bailey, and my co-host this evening right here
is Roland Gale. Good evening, everyone. It is so good to be on this evening. And to you, our listeners, we want to say thank you so much for making Love 101 FM your station of choice. And this evening, we are talking about managing sickle cell. Now, September is Sickle Cell Awareness Month, and it's time to raise awareness about sickle cell disease and sickle cell trait. Today, we're going to be having a conversation with our guests, Mr. Paul Brown from Shaq's Hope Foundation, and we also have Mr. Noel Bell, who is a photographer and cinematographer. And they're going to share bite-sized facts and stories from persons living with sickle cell disease.
Thank you, Roland. Our guests this evening, as we shared, are Mr. Paul Brown from Shaq's Hope Foundation and Mr. Noel Bell, photographer and cinematographer. Are there? Welcome, gentlemen. And we're going to have a great time. And my understanding, if Mr. Noel Bell doesn't come on, we are going to have Jermaine Harris who will fill in for him as well. So, welcome, sir.
Going to ask you to unmute, sir, because we didn't hear you a while ago.
You might be.
Does that work?
Oh, yeah, we're hearing you loud and clear now.
I think you're muted.
I think I'm okay now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we're hearing you clearly.
Okay. Good afternoon, each and everyone. Happy to be here.
Good to have you, sir. Good to have you. And you are Paul Brown, right?
Yes, I am. I'm Paul Brown.
So
Excellent.
happy to have you.
I am on the board of the Shacks Hope Sickle Cell
And
Foundation.
there is Jermaine Harris.
Yes, live and live. I'm here.
Welcome, Jermaine. Good to have you on as well. Welcome, welcome. All right.
All right, let's share a little bit about Mr. Paul Brown. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll go ahead and do that. And
Okay,
Mr. Paul
so
Brown.
Paul Brown is a dedicated board member and volunteer with Shacks Foundation, a non-profit committed to educating, building awareness, and improving quality of life for individuals living with sickle cell disease in Florida and Jamaica. As part of the board, Paul plays a key role in guiding the foundation's mission and helping implement its programs. He contributes his time and leadership toward organizing and overseeing annual signature events such as the Islands of Hope Brunch, the Christmas toy drive, donating gifts to patients at Broward Health, Hermatology, and Oncology Clinic, and outreach and panel discussions in collaboration with the Foundation for Sickle Cell Research, where patients share what they want their healthcare providers to know. In Jamaica, Paul also helps coordinate the annual Easter treat, serving over 200 patients and families through Shacks Hope partnership with the Sickle Cell Unit at University of the West Indies. Paul's service is marked by compassion, commitment to community, and a drive to improve outcomes and experiences for those affected by sickle cell disease. That is a whole lot, Sir Paul. No, not just at the outset. How did you get involved in all of these things?
By marrying a wife.
That does it. That does it a lot of the times. Can you expand on that, sir?
Yes, I can. Okay, so I did not know much about sickle cell. However, I met a wonderful person April 19th, 2016, and her personality was basically the same as mine, which is a lot about helping others. I was very, very impressed by that until I met her daughter. I met her daughter, and her name is Shakira Martin. She happens to be Miss Universe 2011, and unfortunately, she lost her battle to sickle cell in 2016. She has set up a foundation before she passed, and my wife decided to carry the baton, so to speak. We decided to put all our efforts into what she started. And in doing so, I was very impressed. I was very moved and very fulfilled in terms of how much you how much you get in terms of the love of helping these patients through their various problems and crises. And at the same time, what we are trying to do is to basically bridge that gap between the sickle cell patients and the providers in the form of education and building awareness to the public so that they can understand sickle cell patients and the disease that much more.
Sorry about that. Continue, sir. Continue.
Yes, so that they can understand the sickle cell that much more. So we also not only educate the public, we also educate, believe it or not, it is not all men that have sickle cell understand the illness that they have and how to care for themselves in many ways, in how to live, in how to manage the pain, in how to scave off the pain in terms of what we call crisis. So we have been doing a lot of that, and there's a lot more to it. And that I've been doing with my wife and the rest of the board members and the team of volunteers that we have here and in Jamaica for the past 8 years. I think it's 9 now. Over to you.
Great. Thank you for that, sir. Thank you. And I think we have Jermaine Harris back with us. Welcome, sir. Are you able to hear me? Oh, I'm not hearing Jermaine. Can you hear him, Sir Kevin?
Hi, Jermaine. Welcome. Yes, Jermaine, are you there? I don't think we're hearing Jermaine.
Yeah, we're not hearing Jermaine just now.
Sorting out.
We'll sort it out. Yeah, we'll sort it out. We'll sort it out. And we just want to remind all the men who are listening, man and man, remember, we want to hear from you. We are live on Facebook and YouTube at Love 101 FM Jamaica. And remember, you can leave your comments via our WhatsApp line as well at 997-3125. And you can call our studio lines at 968-8327 and 968-8328. And we are also on TikTok at Love 101 FM Jamaica. We are speaking with Mr. Paul Brown, and hopefully we will get Mr. Jermaine Harris right back on. But Kevin, I know you like to talk to a certain set of people when we are here on this program. They cannot participate verbally, but they can participate another way. Not sure if Sir Kevin is hearing me.
So Roland, I have a feeling that we're working through some technical stuff, but we want to ask the ladies a particular question, because we can't do without our ladies. And remember, ladies, you can share on our program by leaving us a message via WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube. Remember, no calls or voice notes are allowed. You can allow the men to call in, right? But this is the question we want to ask you, ladies. Do you know anyone living with sickle cell disease? And just share your own experience with that person. Do you know anyone living with sickle cell disease? All right. So we normally do a little shout out here. Is Jermaine still with us? I think we have Sir Brown with us.
I think he's gone.
And
are you hearing me now?
Oh, he's back. Good, he's back. Jermaine is back. I hope we can hear him this time.
I'm hearing him clearly.
Oh, good. I'm hearing you now. Excellent. We are almost up on a break.
Hi, Jermaine.
Hi, are you hearing me?
I am hearing you, but they don't seem to be hearing you.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what to change.
No, I can hear you, Jermaine. I can hear you clearly.
Let us take a break then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can hear him. You can hear him.
But we're going to go for a break now, and we will sort it out. And when we come back, we'll get into the discussion. I'm going to go for a break now.
I am a man, yes. Strong man. Integrity man, I am a man.
It's the Super Savings Sales event you can't afford to miss. Now on at Home and Things. Massive deals on almost everything in store. Tiles, bathroom fixtures, faucets, vanities, lightings, windows, doors, home decor, and so much more. Upgrade your space with unbeatable savings on all your construction finishes from Home and Things. But hurry, it's for a limited time only. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for more. Don't miss the Super Savings Sales event now on at Home and Things, Old Hope Road and Constant Spring Road.
Grace is giving shoppers discounts on over 20 of your favorite Grace products when you cash out at participating supermarkets.
The time by Grace could move is
5:45.
Levis Heritage presents Champion Festival and Anniversary Celebration on Saturday, November 1st, 2025 at the Hart College of Construction Services Auditorium in Portmore starting 7 p.m. sharp, featuring Kevin Downswell, Sister Pat, Lubert Levy, Orville Sutherland, and other ministers. Get your ticket now online at spuropen.com/Levis Heritage. Sponsored by Love 101, Spur Open, Print Big, Crystal Clear Productions, Carrion Gospel TV, and others. Ticket deals end September 30. Get your tickets online now.
Father Holland and Friends presents Jesus 2025 at Arena, September 27 to 28 and October 4 to 5. Adults $2,000 and $3,000, children $1,200. Take advantage of our early bird special. Buy 3 adult tickets for September 27 and 28 and get 1 free. Ticket outlets from Tana Pharmacy, Bigamy Jordan Garden Center, General Food Supermarket, Music Mart, Mega Mart, Lee's Food Fair, Royal Computers, and Kingston Bookshop. Get your tickets now for Jesus 2025. You can't afford to miss it.
Share in the experience at Fontana Pharmacy. We have a wide variety of items in store just for you. Fill your prescriptions while you shop. And senior citizens enjoy 10% off. Shop household, cosmetics, toys, and many other departments. We also offer curbside pickup and delivery. Visit our website at fontanapharmacy.com. Fontana Pharmacy, where it's all good inside.
I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man.
Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Love 101 FM, and with you this evening are Kevin Bailey and myself, Roland Gale. We are on the mailbox, and it is our joy to have you on with us today. We are talking with 2 very special guests about the issue of sickle cell disease. And with me right now is Mr. Paul Brown, and I also have Jermaine Harris with me. And we spoke with Mr. Brown earlier, and he outlined how he got involved and how he has tried to help individuals with sickle cell disease. I just want to ask Jermaine, I hope you can hear me now. Good evening.
I can.
To you, sir. Great, I can hear
Good
you.
evening, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure to have you. And I just want to put a question to you quickly. How are you involved with sickle cell disease? What is your interest, or how have you been drawn into it?
Well, I was drawn into it by birth.
You were born with it.
That's exactly. I was drawn into it. So my mother she has 9 kids, and out of the 9, I think 3 of us was so fortunate to born with sickle cell.
No, say that again.
I said 3 of us were so fortunate to born with sickle cell.
Wow, I love how you said that. Did you hear what he said, Paul? He
Yes.
said 3 of them were so fortunate to be born with sickle cell.
I like his positive attitude.
Absolutely. And I want to ask him something. I have a friend who has sickle cell. And one of the things he does is he describes himself as a warrior. What do you think about that description?
Well, definitely so. Before I met up with Shaq's Hope, I really never thought of it as that. But when you knock head with positive people, you tend to always reap some form of benefit. So joining with Shaq's Hope, being the ambassador for Shaq's Hope as well, they inspired me a lot, and they were the one that I got the term warrior from, really, sickle cell warrior, and it makes a lot of sense because if you know who a warrior is, a warrior is somebody who fights, various battles, by the terminology warrior, that you overcome a lot of things as well. So I think it sits right in line with what sickle cell entails, the living aspect of it, overcoming it or trying to get through it, try to live with it, try to survive it. So I think it plays very well with the disease in terms of, a sickle cell warrior. So I do agree with it. I love it. I took it and I ran with it because it's definitely a positive twist.
A positive twist. Mr. Brown, what do you think about what Jermaine has just shared with us. You have the experience of working with them, of having lived with a young lady who was fortunate enough to have sickle cell. Can you give us your perception on that?
I endorse 100% what he said, and I am forever correcting people whenever they say the word sickler. I said no, warriors. They are warriors. Do not use that terminology, sickler. They like to be called warriors, and I think it is a positive way of describing their life because they fight to stay alive in more ways than one. So, hence, they are warriors. And it has caught on, it has gone all over the globe that most people now use that word to describe somebody that has sickle cell.
Absolutely. I really appreciate that. Jermaine, I don't believe that that is the full description of who you are. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, most definitely. I am a teacher by profession. Went to the Michael University College. I also represented Jamaica on the national globe. I went to Poland as Mr. Supranational for Jamaica. And again, sexual awareness was my project that I took there. So, people in Poland should also be aware of what sickle cell is at this point. I am also a mentor. I am certified with the Back to Life Foundation. We mentor young boys, um, juveniles in the juvenile center. We specifically were located at Rio Cobra in Spanish Town. No, we basically anywhere needs assistance where that is concerned, we attend to their needs. I'm also a practical nurse now. I'm trying to get my RN certificate. So I'm on that journey as well. So I'm basically an all rounder.
Hold on, Jermaine. I have to stop you for a second. I have to stop you for a second. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 35.
101.
It must be 101. This man is doing so many things. So I want to ask the question, Jermaine, and I'm sorry to cut you, but how do
That's right.
you manage to, I don't know, to accomplish these things that you're talking about in the midst of having this thing to fight with and to war against? How do you accomplish all of these things?
To be honest, it's a mindset that you have to have because growing up with sickle cell really and truly in the initial stage, I was ashamed of it. I didn't tell anybody about it. I would just go about my life because people tend to look at you differently when you talk about these things or when they are aware that that's something that you're struggling with. So initially I would just go about my life. Nobody would know nothing about me because I don't want anybody treating me like, I'm not a normal person. So, that was my mindset towards it. But as you grow old and you mature, you get to understand that you know you can't be defeated by sickle cell. You have to be defeat it. Hence why we're warriors. So in my attempts to defeat it, I try to be the best version of myself. You know, I don't limit myself because sickle cell persons, it's really difficult. Some of us, depending on the type of sickle cell that you have, you might have issue working, you might have issue sustaining yourself as an adult. But what I want to do is just break the barriers where that is concerned to show the world that it doesn't matter if we have this disease, we are capable of anything and we can do anything. So that's why I just push past the limits and try to attain as much as I can to prove to myself that
Wow.
I am able and also to prove to the world that we are able.
Right, right. Wow. We have Kevin back with us. And as Kevin rejoins, I just want to ask Mr. Brown, sir,
Yes.
when Jermaine was talking a while ago, he said something that I find so interesting that he doesn't or didn't used to share that he had sickle cell because people would treat him differently. In your experience, what do you say about that kind of thing? When you met the young lady who had sickle cell, what was your take on it?
Okay, so we can speak in terms of the male. And we can speak in terms of the female. However, we're discussing the male today. And I can tell you that it goes both ways in terms of what I'm about to say. Generally, a person, a warrior, does not want someone's pity. And in doing so, they hide their pain, they hide others knowing what they have. And what we do as a foundation is to teach them that hiding the pain does not help your situation. Because when you show who you are and you teach others what you are, it then gives them the knowledge of how to understand your situation. Because, and I give you a perfect example. Just recently in Jamaica, a girl, even though we're talking about boys, a person with sickle cell was put under a tree for 3 hours. Wanted to use a bathroom, was denied the use of the bathroom. Now, if everyone was speaking up about their illness and how they are, it would help for them to understand how to treat them, because yes, they're different, but not that much different. And you would tend to find that if they don't speak out, the difference is that they will feel much worse, and they'll be in situation that they will be isolated because the person don't understand what type of disease is sickle cell, what type of blood disorder rather is sickle cell. So it's very difficult for them, and as he experienced, and I have experienced during the time that I've been with Shaq's Hope, I have had many people come out of the sickle cell and into the warrior. Many. I had one guy, 31 years old. He works at Amex. And before we went there to do a luncheon and had him come and talk to the rest of the employees on his experience about sickle cell, nobody in the building, he worked there for 10 years, knew he had sickle cell. Nobody knew. And when they heard his story, it was tears. And after that day, he felt more comfortable with himself. He started to come to the function that we have in terms of building awareness and education, and help us to teach others about the awareness that it is that they need to know about people with the blood disorder.
Wow, I love that account. Man, we can overcome and we can become warriors who are, I'm going to say, in control of what happens and how we respond. Man, we're going to go for a break. This is an interesting conversation, and when we come back, I am hoping that my co-host Kevin Bailey will be on with us. Gentlemen, thank you so much for sharing, and we are going to share even more when we come back. Jermaine, want to hear some more from you, now, brother? This is an amazing account of how we can overcome. Listeners, don't go anywhere. We are here on Love 101 FM. You're listening to the mailbox, but we're going to go for a break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Man, integrity man, I am a man. It's gonna be alright.
Do you remember the Holy Ghost in my house? Well, guess what? Apostle Donald Purge and Lady Angel have something new and fresh for you. Join me this Friday, September 26th at 10:15 for Intro with Apostle Donald Purge and Lady Angel. We're going to talk all the things about his new album. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be sweet, so don't miss it. That's Intro this Friday, September 26, 2025, as I talk with Apostle Donald Purge and Lady Angel in the Morning Express at 10:15 a.m. Don't miss it.
Then Jesus showed up and fixed me.
Amitana, and human trafficking is everybody's business. Call 1-888-PROTECT to report suspected cases of child trafficking.
The time by the Ministry of National Security is
6 o'clock.
I'm Itana, and human trafficking is everybody's business. Call 1-888-PROTECT to report suspected cases of child trafficking.
The time by the Ministry of National...
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
Welcome back, gentlemen. Welcome back. It is good to have you on. Listeners, viewers, we invite your comments and your thoughts. Remember that you can contact us on WhatsApp, and that number is 997-3125. We have with us two very special guests today, Jermaine Harris, and we also have Paul Brown. And just before the break, we were talking about helping others, helping men to change their mindset from being sicklers to being warriors. And as we begin this segment, I want to do something that we should have done before. Gentlemen, we have a way here. Sir Kevin, are you on with us? Can you hear us, Kevin?
Yes, I can hear you.
Excellent. I'm so glad you're back, sir, because I know this is your own. When we ask the gentlemen to say something, we're going to come to three and ask them to say something. Go ahead, sir. Lead us.
Right. So, gentlemen, thanks again for coming. You know, we normally count to three and we simply say, Monday up. What we're saying, men are present. So, we'd like you to join us as we do that after three. 1, 2, 3. Monday up. Yes. So, men are very present. And again, listeners, very happy to have Paul Brown and Jermaine Harris with us, Roland and Kevin here. I wanted to find out, because of the challenges that the Warriors face, tell us, what can Jamaicans do, men and women, in order to make it easier for persons who have to face the challenges that you're describing? I want to start with Paul, bro.
Well, what most people, or rather everyone, should do, first of all, is to check out your sickle cell status. That's the first thing you need to do. And I just want to interject that before I answer the question fully, is that when you know your sickle cell status as a person of age who are entering into having children, please, if you find out that you have the trait for sickle cell, have your partner checked before you get involved to find out if they have the trait as well. Because if you do get involved and you have children, 1 in 4 is the scientific possibility of having one child being born with full-blown sickle cell. And we are trying to reduce to zero the amount of children being born with sickle cell by doing that. And that's all I have to say about that. Now, the question is again.
Yeah.
The question is again.
Right. What can we do and educate us as Jamaicans, men and women? How can we help persons, the warriors, those who have to face these challenges? What can we do to make it easier for persons who have to deal with all of these difficulties?
Okay, so what can be done in a general form is for most people to understand that warriors needs more hydration more than anything else. And the reason why they need that is because that it reduces the amount of crisis they have. And I'm going to run very fast because there's so much information that I have to give that you will understand what I'm saying. Jermaine, and I can attest for Jermaine because we've heard it from the horse's mouth. Please, each and everybody, this is what you need to imagine. When a warrior is in crisis, it is caused by the blood capillaries that are not round, the ones that are sickle that resembles a half moon cannot go through the capillaries. Now, when those small blood cells, the millions of them, can't pass through the capillaries, they feel pain. And do you want to know the pain they feel? Lie yourself down in a bucket of ice, and when you feel that pain, you will feel their pain. And that's how bad it is. That's how bad it is.
Wow.
So we need
Wow.
the public to understand their pain and what they go through, and to the point where the pain is so excruciating in terms of the times that they have crisis, to the point that they are thinking about not having to go on with life anymore. And that's a regular
Mm,
thing. Can you imagine you have so much pain that you just don't want to go on anymore? And
mm,
people must understand that this is the situation that they have to deal with as warriors. Be a bit more understanding. When they have to hydrate, when they have to go to the bathroom, let them go. Let them go. Parents who have, or rather caregivers who have warriors, be understanding with them, because yes, it's hard to be a warrior, but it's also hard to be a caregiver. They
mm,
It is very hard to take care of somebody that goes through so much of these type of situation. The situation leads to the fact that when they're in crisis, they have to go to the hospital, and part of the treatment is blood transfusion, and they will be there for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. so
wow.
being that so being that they cannot hold down a job, some of them, because of the seriousness of that particular um form of sickle cell that they have, which is five of them. And I have gotten, when I used to do Medicaid, disability for patients with sickle cell, for the simple reason that their crisis that they have is so frequent that they can't hold a job, that they are deemed disabled.
Mm,
And these are the challenges that a lot of them have. Even if they don't have it a lot, they would have 4 or 5 crises a year, and they can't keep a job. So what we would do as a public is try to understand that this is what happens if they get a job with you. And I've had people who have hired sickle cell patients, warriors, so to speak, and when they're in crisis, allow them to go through that crisis and come back to work. 98% of companies is not going to do that. So what we
mm,
try to do as a company, as a charity, is to try to teach them self-sufficiency. Okay? Teach them
okay.
how to go out there. This one, he said he wants to open a chicken farm. He opens a chicken
Mm,
farm. He sells chicken. Whenever he's sick, his family is selling the chicken, so he's still getting an income for himself. This one said he wants to be a plumber. Yes, we go there. What do you want to be a plumber? I need tools. I need this. We see if we can assist in that form.
yeah.
Get into a class where he learns to be a plumber. He goes out there, he works 3 weeks, he gets an income. He has a crisis, he's not reporting to anybody but himself. So these are some of the ways that people can assist them in teaching them self-sufficiency, so that they can live and basically fend for themselves. It's very hard to work for an employer under these circumstances.
Mm. Wow. So much to unpack there, and to process, and hope we can get in some more. But thank you so much, Paul Brown. Jermaine, your own special experience. Where are you? Do you face any of these things, and how are you working through that? Just your own personal experience here.
All right. So I wanted to also comment on what Uncle Paul Brown said in terms of how can the wider public help those who have sickle
Yes.
cell disease. I One of the main things they can do is just understand what sickle cell is and what it entails. And once you understand, then you're operating from a knowledgeable standpoint. So if you know what sickle cell is, then if somebody you should work with or somebody in your family, is going through a crisis, then you know what to do. You know how to attend to them. In that case, it makes the world so much better for patients. Another thing is I make an appeal to the health sector because what I've understood in the sickle cell warrior world is that normally, doctors or persons in the health world believe that sickle cell patients are addicted to these medications. So when they come to the hospital quite frequently, they rob them of treatment, really and truly, because they say they're getting high on the drugs or whatever it is surrounding that. So I would want to appeal to them as well to understand that since the patient, if for example myself, I wouldn't choose to go to hospital intentionally. That is my last resort. Um, Whatever I can do at home, however I can manage myself to ensure that I don't have a crisis, then I do that because that prevents me from stepping into that world and experiencing that. Thanks be to God, He has really been good to me. So I have a lot more testimony than crisis. But personally, I remember when I was working at this financial institution for about 3 years, and one of my issues that I face is that we can't get cold too often. So I was working in this office space and the AC was like crazy. So every minute I would go and I would turn off the AC. So the moment I turn it off, somebody goes behind me and they turn it on back. But mind you, they were operating from an unknowledgeable standpoint because they did not know at the time why the reason I was turning off the AC or turning it down because I did not have that dialogue with them, which again is why it is important really to allow people in your surrounding and work to know that you are challenged in this specific way so that when you do certain things or you ask for certain things, they don't give you a fight about it. So I had that challenge, and even though I wear my sweater sometimes, the AC is still like a bit much because you're sitting in the office for a lot of crazy hours of the day, and that was one of my challenges at that time. Again, I back when I did not tell persons because when I do, I would get like a side look or they would think that it is catchy like that, like they would catch it like that, which that's not how sickle cell works. So again, they were not knowledgeable, which is why understanding and knowing about this disease it gives people the awareness of how to operate when they meet up on somebody with the disease. Not to stereotype or think that you can get it, but if I touch you or talk to you or anything like that, it's something that you have to born with. If you're not born with it, then there's no other way of getting the disease. So that was really my personal experience with it. As a child, though, it really affected me as a child. I would say I lost my childhood because of sickle disease. I never had a childhood at all because I was constantly in and out of the hospital, and I missed out on a lot of opportunities, a lot of things because of sickle cell. So that's why as I grow and I get older, and God has just really been good to me. I ensure that I do as much as I can whenever I can because you know who knows? Anything can happen at any moment in time.
He made mention to something, and I probably don't want to orchestrate your program, but I want to jump the gun a little bit in terms of he made mention to the provider, and I know you're going to ask that question surely in terms of what is the biggest issue that can resolve some of these issues for the men that are warriors. I'm going to answer that question right now. We work with a organization called the um, Florida Research
Oh,
Florida Sickle Cell Research Disease. Now,
sorry, Mr. Brown. Sorry, I
yes,
am going to have to ask you to continue when we come back from the break because we have a special break to take now, and we don't
certainly,
want to interrupt you. So we're going to
certainly.
go for the break, and when we come back, please, we're going to start with you. All right?
Start with me, okay.
All right, great. Soon be back. Don't go anywhere, listeners. You're listening to the Mailbox on Love 101 FM.
You can see the face, but not the heart. Those who want to do you wrong.
Bless up. This is Christopher Martin. Human trafficking is a crime. Let's unite to end human trafficking. Be wise, open your eyes. Spot them, stop them, and report them.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Remix the summer with Digicel. Start school with amazing deals on phones, plans, and home fiber internet from Digicel. Conditions apply. Digicel, better connected for back to school. And the time by Digicel is now 6:15 p.m.
Nothing beats the Love 101 September Bonanza. That's 15% off any advertising package. That's more savings, more spots, and more reach for your business. But don't wait. This offer ends September 30. Call us now at 876-968-9596 or email sales&marketing@love101.org. Let's grow together. Conditions apply.
Remix the summer with Digicel. 100 lucky winners win $100,000 each, plus surprises all summer. To enter, buy a SIM 7-day plan or higher. Switch to Digicel. Be an active postpaid or Digicel Plus customer, or receive US $15 or more from abroad. Gift a friend a plan. They could win $25,000. Remix the summer with Digicel. Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promo ends September 15, 2025. Conditions apply. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for more info. Digicel, better connected this summer.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
Welcome back. This is the Mailbox, here every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. on your favorite gospel station, Love 101 FM. Roland Gale, Kevin Bailey, your co-host, and we have our very special guest, Mr. Paul Brown and Sir Jermaine Harris. Before we took the break, Sir Brown, you were about to give us some more very important information. Would love you to do so at this time, sir.
Thank you, sir. I want to very, very quickly tell you that the Florida Sickle Cell Disease Research company, foundation that is formed in Florida, we are partner with them, and they have 12 infusion centers throughout Florida. And to prevent patients from going into full crisis, when patients feel a crisis going on, some of these centers are open 24 hours. They can go in and prevent the sickle cell from going full blown, so that they have to go into the hospital and receive treatment for a long, lengthy period of time. Now, in partnering with them, we commit to do certain things, which is to bring education to and to bridge the gap between the providers, which is the doctors and the nurses, and the warriors. Now, in our study for 8 years, we found out the biggest issue that that a warrior has. You know what they are? Know what it is? It is their treatment when they reach the hospital to help them get out of that pain. That is the biggest problem that we have. And do you know why we have that problem? Can I ask you a question? How many blood disorders do you think there are? Quick. One guess.
I have no idea, but I guess there must be 100 or so.
Lupus, sickle cell. How many blood disorders do you think there is?
100.
I said.
Your turn. Come on, Kevin.
I said 10.
Okay. There is blood disorder that doctors and nurses supposed to know about in order to better treat patients. There is over 7,000 blood.
7,000.
Pfizer, one of the largest pharmaceutical company, there is over 7,000 blood disorders. Now, how the heck is a doctor supposed to study all of that? So what I'm getting to the point where the providers, the doctors and the nurses, and we've spoken to doctors, we've done panels, and they agree that enough education is not given to them about sickle cell. Only 15 minutes about sickle cell. nurses only 15 minutes about sickle cell. So they don't really know much about sickle cell. And that is where the problem lies for the warriors. That's where the problem lies. So we talk about what the problem is. We need to talk about the solution. We have a solution, but it's to implement the solution is what is going to be difficult. And we found out that if we implement a educational recertification that they must comply to when they do their recertification as nurses and doctors, it will help to bridge the gap between the warriors and the providers. And that's what we're working on right now. So, in other words, when the doctors go to recertify, they have to do half an hour study on sickle cell and make them more educated about sickle cell and the nurses. And we found out that if we get that done, it will help tremendously for when they go into the ER. The first thing they ask is, how much is your pain? What number is it? What are you allergic to? The right questions are asked. The empathy is there, so they understand better how to treat the patients when they're in crisis. That is one of the biggest problems that the warriors have. What do you say about that, Jermaine?
I agree. I think the doctors and nurses really do need a little bit more information where sickle cell is concerned so that they can definitely bridge the gap between the patients and them and themselves to make our life and their lives much easier.
And believe it or not, when we have the panels, the doctors and the nurses themselves leave the panel after they have had the 3 hours or 4 hours with us, and they do a little survey. And for each time, each of them out of five put three. When they leave the survey, they say we understand the sickle cell and the patients and how to deal with them. They give us a five. We understand it more because of what we've learned today. And that needs to be done on not just for us to have certain doctors to do a panel to do patients and so that they can discuss another. It needs to go on a wide scale where we need to have it on a paper so that even if 10 nurses out of the 200 in the hospital knows, they can pass the information on from one to the other. We need it to spread.
Wow, I love this. Mr. Brown, I see your passion, I hear your passion, and I can imagine that that is transferred into everything that you're doing. And one of the things I wanna ask Jermaine, when you hear the passion that Paul has, do you think it is coming from a place of ignorance or is it coming from a place of knowledge?
Definitely, that goes without saying. Definitely a piece of knowledge.
A
Definitely a
place of
piece of
knowledge.
knowledge.
And it is possible then that if we can teach others, if others can learn more, they can also become passionate about it. Is that
Definitely.
something that you would be encouraging?
Of course, definitely. This is why the Shacks Hope Foundation is here, along with the various foundations at the Sickle Cell unit. Jamaica just have one Sickle Cell unit for the entire island, and that's located in Kingston. So all those from Montego Bay, Negril side, they have to come into Kingston at this one Sickle Cell unit. You know, one of the things I'm hoping
Only
for when
in
I
the Caribbean. The only one in the
in the
Caribbean.
Caribbean. So one
Yes.
thing I'm hoping for when I become a millionaire, I can, open up a couple more branches, so that people will have easy access
That would be
to
awesome.
what they need. So education awareness is definitely the key. We encourage that. We don't fight that out at all. So the more people are aware, is the easier they will be able to develop a passion, as Paul was speaking with. Um, and that would catch on like a wildfire to everybody else in this world.
No, no. Thank you, Jermaine. Sir Brown, on a more intimate level, are persons to shy away having intimate relationships with sickle cell warriors? I noted your caution, but generally, no. As far as interpersonal relationships, persons who want to court and get married, what are some of the guidelines, because persons, this is a part of their deep emotional needs. How you manage that, and what are some of the tips you would give?
Okay, so the thing that each and everyone, if you don't know, is to know your sickle cell status. I do not have the trait. I don't have sickle cell. You should know that. And if each and everyone knows that, it will reduce the amount of children being born with sickle cell. Why? Because when you're going to have a relationship with somebody and you know you have the trait, you're going to ask them, excuse me, I already checked and I have the trait for sickle cell. Do you have the trait? Yes, I do have the trait. Well, if we do have the trait, it's not to say we can't have children, but the risk of having children and having child born with a sickle cell is 1 in 4. Are we going to have a relationship? Okay, but there have been people who have the trait who have had relationships and they have had children and they monitored by the doctors to say if the child is going to be having sickle cell, they can know at a certain time to terminate the pregnancy if within the legal time. So that can also be done as far as I understand. Okay, so you can have a relationship with a person with sickle cell, but you must know with sickle cell trait, but you must know that you do not have the trait yourself either, and you'll be fine because you cannot have full blown sickle cell if one of the partners is don't have and one have. You will not. It doesn't happen that way. It's only when both carries the trait that that does happen.
And can I jump in on that as well?
Certainly.
My mother and father had the trait. I mean, I don't believe they knew at the time when they were getting together, but they do have the trait. One has the S trait and one has the C trait. So three of the children we were born with SC because we get the trait one trait from your father and you get the other one from your mother. If my mother or one of my parents had the S, both had S trait, then you'll have possibly three of us being born with the full blown sickle cell. The SC is not the full blown. The SS is the full blown sickle cell, but SC is not. So even though they had 9 kids and only three of us were fortunate to bond with it. I mean, it could have been worse, but it is important, as Paul said, to know if your partner has the trait. That way, you can better mitigate how you guys go around flourishing your relationship. But it doesn't go without saying that you cannot be intimate and have a good family life. Treatment and all of that. Doctors' guidance can really guide you into how you do that. But of
Right.
course, sickle cell warriors are worthy of relationships too. It's best for you when you don't have a partner with the trait, because then again, it's about self care and self love. We're not aiming to create a population of sickle cell disease at all. I think the end goal is to really and truly eliminate it. Ensure that we don't pass it on to the next generation. So in doing that, then you cram sickle cell style, and you kind of toss it out, and that's exactly what we want to do. So that is what is encouraged.
Gentlemen, this has been so interesting and insightful, but we have to wrap. So I'm going to ask you just quickly if you can give us an idea of how we can get in touch with you.
Well, you can get in touch with us, Shaq's Hope Sickle Cell Foundation. You can get in touch by the on Facebook. You can get in touch with us on Instagram, and it's all Shaq's Hope Foundation and Shaq's Hope Foundation on Facebook. And you also have shackshope.com. You can get it us with shackshope.com, or you can call our phone number that's listed, which I don't have offhand because I'm not usually giving that out, which I don't have on hand, that you can call and you can speak to somebody, or you can actually in Jamaica, um, by the sickle cell unit, get all the information necessary for Shaq's Hope. And we are there every Easter to do a sickle cell treat. Every Easter, we are there.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Sir Kevin, over to you.
Sure, gentlemen. Really want to thank Mr. Paul Brown from Sharks Hope Foundation and Jermaine Harris. Thank you so much for really enlightening us and educating us. Lots of information there. But want to say, yeah, really appreciate you. Thanks to our producer, Jermaine Johnson, Nico Angus for technical support as well. We end the show with this quote: hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. C.S. Lewis. Roland, so that's it for our show. Yes, this week. Catch you next Wednesday, October 1, 2025. Same place, same time inside the mailbox. And as we say,
Monday.
thanks again. Monday.
Monday, and see you next week.
Bless you. All the best. Thanks again.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man.